I don't know if they understand exactly what it is and what we do, because everything is about, when you're doing Taekwondo, people are thinking about fighting, punching and kicking, and dealing with all those kinds of things like that. But I don't think they understand it's not about us fighting. It's a way of life. Could I have done a police work without doing Taekwondo? Yes, of course. But I think it helped me to enhance it a little bit more.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of A Black Belt Way of Life. I am your host, Master Joseph Lupo Jr. And tonight's amazing episode, I am joined by Master James Thorsten, but most importantly, retired detective with the, and I will come out and say this because I have an enormous admiration for them ever since I was a child. Many of my instructors, many of my classmates, teammates are all part of the amazing, the greatest police force in the world, the NYPD. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome. No, I'm really excited about tonight because we're taking something that I respect, something I have a tremendous amount of admiration for, and of course, my love for Taekwondo. And you coupled both of them together. You are the founder of NYPD Taekwondo?
Yes. I started like about 10 years ago with another lieutenant back then.
Okay.
He was Lieutenant John Connolly, and he was the president, and then I was the vice president, and we started that. And then unfortunately, he retired.
Okay.
And then when he retired, he left out to Florida, and then he left that to myself.
Wow.
And then at that time, I wasn't, I was not as proactive back then as what I am now. So I just let it go. And then as I was getting older and ready to retire, I was like, I think it's time for me to see if I could get it reopened again.
Yes.
And then I was able to reopen it. And luckily what it was is that it was still available, but it was dormant.
Okay.
So I was able to reopen it very quickly enough.
All right.
So, and that's when I started.
Now, the NYPD Taekwondo program, it's for the officers, or we're talking now, this is something community outreach that you are teaching the outside?
Well, we are doing both.
Both, okay.
Because as a Taekwondo practitioner, I believe, and I'm sure all the Taekwondo practitioners believe, is that we have to give something back to 100%. The community.
Always pay it forward.
It's not something that we just have to keep it to ourselves.
Sure.
So I do have a team that are basically officers who are police officers, school safety agents, or anything that is with NYPD related. So that including civilians who are part of the NYPD. So those are the ones that I have where we teach. I started aware that they could be anywhere from beginners to advanced.
Wow.
So with that in mind, I ended up in the beginning with one of the guys that I know. He was a sergeant. It's Sergeant Kofi Nasfora, I believe that's his last name. But he is a fifth dan in ITF.
Okay.
So he became my vice president, and I was the president.
Wow.
And then as we came along, I ended up getting other guys, and one of them was another sergeant, which is Master Danny Foran. And then I ended up with other masters and other black belts.
Yeah.
And then with that, we just opened it up to more things with other cops joining in.
Yeah. I mean, I could only imagine, like I said, my first Taekwondo instructor, because my father didn't teach me when I was young. His junior, who I have, oh my God, I love this man. He's like I consider him like an uncle, Master Andy Sava. My father's junior was my first instructor, now retired NYPD. He was K9, if I'm correct.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he just retired not too long ago. He was my first ever instructor at Grandmaster Moonsung Lee Taekwondo in Astoria. So, I mean, I've been surrounded by the NYPD my whole life. But before we get more into it, A quick word from our sponsor, Mr. Joseph Ferrone of Weichert Realty. This episode of A Black Belt Way of Life is brought to you by Mr. Joseph Ferrone of Weichert Realty. For all your real estate needs, both commercial and residential, don't hesitate to reach out to Mr. Joseph Ferrone. All his information is in the show notes. To our official apparel company, Muto USA, Best Martial Arts. Their info is in the show notes. Anything you need Taekwondo or martial arts related, check them out. To Kit Fit Taekwondo shoes for a nice, cool looking shoe, BBWOL at checkout for a nice little discount on that. Sir.
Yes.
Let's kick it right off. A big thing here at Black Belt Way of Life that I always want to hear from all of my guests is the journey. What came first, the NYPD or Taekwondo?
Taekwondo did.
Okay.
All right. Actually, I migrated from South Korea, to the United States. I was adopted in 1976.
Okay.
So when I came here, my mom, who was at that time single, she wanted us to keep our heritage.
Okay.
So she decided to put me into a Taekwondo school.
Okay.
So that I could have something from my culture.
Mm-hmm.
So I went there. I was back in 76. It was with Tiger Kim in Fordham Road in Grand Concourse.
Okay. Okay.
So I went to his school.
Yeah.
And I was there for many years. And
another grandmaster that when we spoke, that ate at my dinner table.
All right. So, and then his school burnt down.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the records and everything just disappeared. Then I would say maybe 10 years later or so, I went to different Taekwondo schools. And then I tried on different things. I tried karate, judo, kung fu, all different kinds of things. But then eventually in my later, in the 20s, I ended up going to another Taekwondo school, which was Tiger Kim's brother, which is Byung-Min Kim.
Byung-Min Kim in Westchester.
Up in Westchester,
yes.
in Galleria.
Yes.
So I ended up going over there for many years.
Yeah, one of my students is a student of him, a past guest of this show.
All right.
Chet Bridgewater started with Byung-Min Kim.
So I went over there, and then eventually I moved to Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went to Long Island, then I studied with Grandmaster Shin, which was part of the Cheongdeokwan Taekwondo. Okay. And then he moved out, or there was like a little bit difference with his student who was his master who was teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he was selling his place. So then I had to find another home. And then I found YH Park. So now I've been with YH Park for, I would say, about 12, 13 years.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we just recently competed at his tournament. It was a great event.
All right.
Both him and his son, Edward. It was a great, great, great event.
So I found a home there.
Mm-hmm.
They treated me like one of them. And of course, Master Edward Park,
mm-hmm.
He always says that I am like his older brother. But he treated me like a family.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoy being over there. I'm very happy over there. Grandmaster Park, I mean, what more can you say about him?
Sure. Like I said, another man who ate at my dinner table,
right,
alongside with my my late grandmaster Moon Sung Lee. They're all part of that first generation that came here, to New York or the United States together back in the early 70s. That's great. And then our connection obviously comes from a past guest of this show,
yes,
Master Mark Zirojanis.
Yes.
It was a phenomenal episode I had with him regarding Taekwondo and refereeing. And, I stumbled upon you online and, I reached out to, Master Zirojanis. I was like, and he's like, he was so quick with it. He's like, oh, you have to speak to Master James Thorsten. I was like, no, I would love to, I would love... because like I said, I have so much respect and admiration for the NYPD, so let's put aside the Taekwondo part.
Okay.
What made you want to become a cop?
Well, growing up in the Bronx, it was tough.
Mm-hmm.
But I did have one cop. He was like the C-pop. He was like more the cop that who hung out in the on the streets by the schools and that kind of type. And I knew that when I was growing up, I was always afraid of cops.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh, that was the one thing that everyone was afraid of.
Mm.
So,
and we're talking like the early 80s.
Oh, we're talking about in the 70s.
70s. Okay. Okay.
The late 70s.
Late 70s.
Yeah. So my thing was that every time I saw him, I would cross the street.
Really?
Go the other side. So, but one time I happened to be on the same side of the street with him. So as I'm walking by, he would just go, "What's up, kid?" So now I'm surprised that even a cop is talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually, he said it all the time. Every time I pass by, he will say that. Then eventually I say hello to him, started talking. And then later on, he asked me, he says, "Have you ever thought of being a cop?"
Mm.
And I said, "Not really." He says, "It's a good job. It's a city job. You got your pension and, you got your medicals and everything else." Now, as fourth grade, I didn't know none of those things.
Right.
Medical, pension, I have no idea what those things are. Uh-huh. But eventually, as I got later on in my life, my mom being a school teacher, she explained about being, about the civil servants.
Sure.
And explained about pension and everything else. And
I know. I'm married to a school teacher. I know.
And then eventually I went to John Jay, ended up getting a criminal justice degree. And then I went to the police department.
Wow. So he was your inspiration.
Yes.
Wow. So now, obviously, John Jay, which is basically a criminal justice school.
Yep.
So now you're really getting into it more and more.
Yes.
All right.
So, and then eventually, before I even became a cop, I was a teacher for 8 years.
Oh.
So with that, I always told the students, I'm going to be a cop. I'm going to be a cop. And sure enough, I did.
And what year was this?
97.
Okay.
So, and then I stayed until 2004. And then I went to the police department in 2004.
Wow.
And then some of my students became cops, which I'm very happy with. And then, some of them, they went to different states to be cops as well. So, which I'm very happy about. So that's what led me into the police department.
Wow. And now I'm fascinated by it. You became a detective, correct?
Yes. So now what it is that I dealt with, when I got into the police department, of course, I was out in the streets first.
Okay.
Then eventually somebody picked me up, saw that how I was good with kids. So then I was asked, would you want to work with things in the school system? So I said, why not? So I had a friend. He helped me to get into a task force that dealt with school.
Okay.
So as we did that, I went into the schools, talked to the kids. Then eventually we had like a camp for the kids over the summertime. And I called the YPA, which is a Youth Police Academy. And we started with like maybe 300 kids. Now I think they have like about 2,000 kids citywide.
Oh, wow.
And basically it is just like 6 weeks of teaching kids how the academy is run, like the police academy. So of course they do, running. They do the any kind of some kind of educational things, life skills. They do push-ups, burpees, and all those things that we do in the academy.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. In the beginning, they hate it.
Sure.
But eventually, they love it, and they don't want to leave after 6 weeks.
That's awesome.
And then they have that relationship with cops at the end. And then they stay longer and then come back the following year and following year. Some start at 10 and they end at around age of 15 or 16. Now I have 2 kids that I've known since they were 10 years old. Now they're 25 years old. And now both of them are cops.
Wow.
I think one of them is 7'3" and the other one is in 106.
Okay.
So
now where were you exactly? You mentioned the Bronx.
I was in the Bronx. Then I came to Community Affairs Bureau.
Okay.
And then I was mostly in Queens.
Okay.
North side of Queens. And then eventually I ended up with 107 Precinct.
107. That is
down in the Fresh Meadows.
Fresh Meadows. That's right. That's right.
Right? So I ended up over there.
My wife. It rang a bell because my wife's a school teacher in Fresh Meadows.
And then I ended up with the borough that covered the citywide. And I did things with the related to the kids. So I used to do presentations about the gangs and about how you present yourself as with the officers, youth laws, communications, how to communicate with cops, like different things. What you do when you get stopped by cops, those kinds of things that goes along. But we would go into the schools and talk to the kids
to
about
educate.
That. Yes.
So you were constantly in a position that you were always paying it forward.
I try to. And that's why we do things now where we're teaching not only cops, we're teaching cops, but we're also teaching the family members of cops. Because we felt that, well, they could learn together. So if you have a father and a daughter, we want them to have some kind of relationship with each other.
Sure.
So we felt that that's something that's going to bring the family together. And then Master Thorsten, he started a program called Police and Community. And right now we have about 50 kids, where we started from Rock Church in Queens Boulevard.
Okay.
And now we have it over at the Academy. And right now we have approximately like 60 kids ranging from 4 years old all the way up to 17 years old.
Wow.
And some of them are already in college or ready to go to college.
Wow.
So, and I believe he started like about 5 years ago with that. So we have those kids that we try to help out as well. And I'm sure I could speak for all the guys in my team. We did this because we wanted to help the community that cannot afford to go to a Taekwondo school, but wants the kids to do the Taekwondo.
Get the kids off the street.
Yes. So that's
so now this program, it's no cost?
No cost.
Oh wow.
What it is that we Master Thorsten and Master Chung, another master we have, they put in for a grant through the Police Foundation. And the Police Foundation gave them a grant to help to buy them uniforms, to get the belts,
wow,
all those things that comes along for the community. So every year, as it grows, they ask for more funding so we could get the uniform for the kids and things like that. Because you know how it is sometimes with kids, they grow, so the uniform starts
of course
shrink a little bit.
Right.
So so we try to get them in the new uniform, and the new kids that are arriving, we try to get them their uniform as well. So we give them the uniform, we give them lessons, we test them, and we give them the ranks of the belts with no cost.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
So
talk about giving back.
I enjoy it. It's tough, especially when we have the little ones.
Of course.
I think we have about 25, 30 kids of the 4-year-old to 9-year-old.
Tough. I know. I start children at 3 in my dojang. I know.
So
it's not easy.
No, but
it's my smallest class of the day, but it's the most work.
Yes,
the 3 to 5-year-old class. So I completely understand it.
But we also have the parents. They help us too. When we don't have enough of the guys from from our team to help, we ask the parents, can you hold these pads, or can you help us out with this? And the parents are great.
So this is a community. You're building such a community all through the NYPD. That is great.
So but also at the same time, they also have a different perspective of cops. They see it in a different light. It's not the same dealings out in the street. So they don't see us being like, they're afraid or anything like that. Now we're more friends, or we're their masters, we're their teachers, their instructors. So they see us in a different light than
a different level of respect. Right. A Taekwondo type of respect.
Right. And hopefully that, that follows as they get older, so that they keep that respect for the officers as they get older.
That this is fascinating because, and I don't believe me when it comes to this podcast, this show. I don't veer towards politics. I don't
Right.
veer towards anything like that. It's not my platform. I'm not for it. I have my beliefs and I like to keep them, here,
Right.
close to my chest, but there is negativity towards the NYPD, that I don't agree with. Do you feel a program like this sheds that positive light on the NYPD?
All the youth programs I've done in the past,
Mm-hmm.
from PAL to Explorers to the YPA, doing presentations in the schools, doing self-defense to the community or to the elders or to the youth,
Mm-hmm.
of all the things, that changes perspectives of how they think about an officer.
Right.
It changes.
Right.
And I can see that. People might not notice it as much, but it's a big difference because they see us in a different light.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same thing because they see the firemen as the brave and they somebody to save from the fire and things like that. But when the cops come in, what do? We make an arrest. So that means they look at us as though we're the bad people.
Mm.
But now when we're doing different things with them with the programs, they see us in a different light. It's different. So they feel like we're more of their mentors and that we'll help them and they're willing to talk to us. It sounds corny or it sounds like as though a plot to make, NYPD better. It isn't. I'm retired, so I can say whatever I want and there's no repercussions. If I want to say something bad, I can say something bad.
Sure.
But that's not what it is.
Okay.
And I think it's like the more we engage with the youth, the better it is. Because now here's the thing. At young age, you teach them this way or
Exactly.
they have a different perspective.
The foundation is built from the ground up.
As they get older,
yes,
it's going to help them.
Mm-hmm.
And it puts a different light and put the respect of the law enforcement rather than saying, oh, I don't like them, I'm afraid of them, or, I don't want to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
So now with this way, it helps them. It makes a job of an officer easier.
Right.
So that's how I see it as. I don't want to make my job harder. I want to make it easier. So therefore, if I deal with that, that's one less kid that's going to get older that I might have to arrest.
Right.
So now later on, I don't have to deal with that kid because I know he's in the right path.
So through the community outreach, through a program like NYPD Taekwondo,
Right.
where you're taking in the kids for free.
Yeah.
You're teaching out of the goodness of your heart. I could see where this is going, how, you're building a future of children who have that respect.
Yes.
For the officer. Have that and also, I say this all the time to my students, a big reason why I never got into trouble as a kid, like I grew up in Flushing. My precinct was the 109.
Mm.
I'm not too familiar with it because I never got in trouble.
Right.
I have to say, when people say, how come you never got into trouble? I was always in the dojang. I was always in my father's dojang. I was in my grandmaster's dojang. I had no time to get in trouble. Or even better, I was too tired to get in trouble. The honest truth, while everyone was going out on the weekends, I was in the dojang training.
Yeah.
I didn't have time for it. So I didn't have to become familiar with my precinct, or I didn't have run-ins with officers.
Right.
There was always that level of respect, but I'm fortunate enough, I didn't get into trouble because of Taekwondo.
Right.
So now I'm thinking about an NYPD Taekwondo program. Kids are not only learning the respect for the officers, but they're not getting in trouble.
Correct.
Because they're in a dojo. And you're getting taught by an officer. So that whole level of respect is only amplified.
Right. Well, I mean, when we teach kids, we're talking about we teach them respect,
Mm-hmm.
and then they do have the discipline. We do teach about the discipline as well, but then also we're teaching them life skills of concentrations,
Sure,
focusing on what they have to do, career oriented,
mm-hmm.
what they want to do later on in their life. So all these things, we're not just teaching Taekwondo. We teach them life, so that later on, when they get older, they could decide what they want to do. And it helps them to make that decision a little bit easier. So, things like that helps them a lot with that part. I mean, I find that it's very rewarding because just the fact that you're doing something that is helping them,
Mm-hmm.
and you know that you're not going to help every one of them, but you're going to help the majority of them.
Wow. That is great. That's great. This is the stuff. See, when I hear things like this, I say to myself, why isn't this in the news? Why isn't this on TV when I flip it on? This is what, the public needs to hear. The positivity, the good stuff, and but instead we get the 1%.
Right.
For whatever reason, like I said, I don't want to dive into that rabbit hole, but the positivity that you're talking about tonight, a program. Now, in what area, where is the NYPD Taekwondo program located?
Well, right now we have it on Saturdays at the police academy,
Which is where?
It's in College Point in Queens.
College. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
The reason for that is that we don't have spaces to practice, and then also the cops have different tours.
Sure.
So some of them cannot make it at a certain time, certain hours, and certain days. So we have it in one specific time. I mean, it'd be great if I could expand it to a different time so that we have guys who are in different tours that I'll be able to make. It'd be great also to have different boroughs.
Sure.
And so it'd be harder for people to come to Queens from Staten Island or from Brooklyn or from the Bronx or Manhattan, because you're talking about tolls and
Of course.
and traveling time and everything like that way. Ideally, I would love to have it in each borough.
Mhm.
But, right now we started only about 3 years ago.
Okay.
So we're still growing. So I'm hoping that maybe with this, that it will expand a little bit more.
Of course.
We are part of nonprofit. So we do go by donations and whatever we do sales wise, or, we do whatever we can to raise funds for, so that I try to do that way so that the cops are not paying for tournaments
Okay.
or paying for their uniforms or their belts or their certificates. Actually, recently I had, I think, 4 or 5 members, including myself. We participated in the World Police Fire Games.
Okay. That was
which was in Alabama.
Alabama. Master Mark was a referee there.
Yes.
Wow. Oh, talk to me about that. How'd that go?
I think that was my last fight.
Whoa, no, don't say that. Come on.
It was tough.
I know a few gentlemen that have competed at those events. Some very high level Taekwondo fighters.
They are, you know. But, you're talking about, I'm 57.
Years young, sir.
so to, anything happens with my bones and body, it takes longer to recover.
100%. That I know all too well.
So, but we did have, some of us compete, and some of us competed in the sparring, and it was tough. Because we don't have the amount of time to train as much as other cops from other places. So that makes it harder. But, in spite of that, our guys did great.
Yeah. How did it feel representing the NYPD?
It felt great.
I could imagine. Because at the end, I mean, I've been very fortunate, to travel all over the world, and it's incredible how I was in Italy, and I saw someone wearing like fashion, an NYPD shirt. Like everyone knows the NYPD. It is, there's a reason why it's called the greatest and probably the biggest police force in the world.
Yes, it is.
So to represent that at a world event must have been an honor.
Well, I mean, it was a great honor. And not only that, but like when we spoke to the people, they never knew that NYPD had a Taekwondo team. And we say, yes, this is our first competition. We didn't have it, but now we do. So once I knew about it and I spoke to the guys, and they're like, listen, let's compete. When we're gonna have the chance to compete again.
Exactly.
I said, let's do this.
Exactly.
And of course, in 2 years, it's gonna be in Australia.
There you go.
But the coast to coast Australia.
That I know. Listen, we said the same thing. I was on the original USA Masters team when we competed in Italy, and since then I've been to Mexico. I had the honor of competing in Korea, and it is an expense, but that check off the bucket list feels good.
Well, that's why I'm hoping to raise funds for these guys, or I should even partially, to fund it so that they could go to places like Australia.
You hear that, black belt way of life? Let's get the NYPD Taekwondo team to Australia. Let's go. I love it.
That'd be great, And these guys deserve it. They really do. You're talking about not only they're working, but they have their family of their own, and they take the time from their family to come home, come to the academy and practice and teach. So, that's a lot of time away from
a lot of
your
sacrifice.
Family. Yes.
But besides, your job is the greatest sacrifice of them all. Waking up every day, again, these are all things I learned as a kid. My father instilled in me, especially respect towards law enforcement. That's a job that, you're waking up in the morning and you don't know if you're coming home at night.
Yeah,
that's tough.
It was tough for my family. And,
I could imagine.
I think when I finally retired, I think my wife, she just broke down crying.
Right.
That she was so happy that, I was still alive and I was still, be able to spend the, rest of the time with my family and the kids and everything like that. So I think that was the greatest gift I could give her by retiring.
Wow.
So, but
you did your time, you did your service.
I mean, I still would love to stay longer.
Really?
Yeah. I tell people.
You really love the job that much?
I do.
Wow.
People say, oh, they hate the job, whatever it is. I didn't hate the job. I really didn't. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I chose it. It was another career. I went from teaching to the police department.
See, that's a very important thing. And a past guest of this podcast, he's also a retired, law enforcement. He brought up that same sentiment, that same statement. This is something you chose. So because you chose it, it comes with a responsibility.
Yes.
You know what you're getting into.
Exactly. And I knew. And I've been to different situations where I could have not came home. But, I was very careful with things. And there was some lucky, fortunate. I don't know if you want to say, thank God that it was, didn't end up that way. But I came home and I thank God every day that I'm alive and I came home and be with my family. And now I enjoy where I am teaching now. I went back to teaching. So, and I really enjoy teaching the young kids. And I'm in a middle school in Jackson Heights.
Okay.
So, and I love it, and I'm hoping to help kids, and help the young men to, to have a different perspective in life so that they set in the right path. Wow. So I'm hoping that with my experience as a police officer and experience as past teacher to help these, kids to set in the right path.
Wow.
Hopefully.
So you've had a career, a life of service and a life of, oh man.
It's a lot.
now teaching and paying it forward. That's an incredible and very admirable life, sir.
Yeah. I enjoy it though.
You have to enjoy it.
You
have to enjoy it because I say it all the time, when you do something you love, it's never a job.
No, it's not. I mean, yes, I'm only there 3 days a week, but still, I enjoy being there. I wake up every morning and I'm happy, and I want to be there. And then throughout the day, I'm happy to be there. And of course, there are times that are good and sometimes are bad, but I look at it as a whole that it's great, and you know that as a teacher or as a cop or even as a father or a husband, that there's a way you could change the perspectives of the kids in the middle school. They're the one that's the age group. That's where you could help change them and set them in the right direction.
I like to use the term manipulate them in a positive way.
Correct.
People take the word manipulate in a negative connotation.
I
It's
agree.
not.
Right.
It's not. We want to teaching Taekwondo or teaching in general. You're manipulating the mind into something positive, something that could do good.
Yes.
You want to spread that.
Yes. And that's what you want to do. And doing so, it helps. And you can see the kids that I like are the kids who are in trouble all the time. I love those kids,
Really?
Because it helps them with the direction.
Mm-hmm. It's a challenge too.
It is.
It's a challenge. As martial artists, we love a challenge. I never back down to a challenge with anything. I completely, definitely. I give me that kid that can't sit still. Give me that one.
That's the one.
I want that one.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love them. It's like you hate them, but you love them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, for sure.
So, but those are the kids that I like to deal with, and that's what the Taekwondo also. We have a lot of those kids in the middle school age group. And then as a cop, I did self-defense Taekwondo in the middle school.
Mm.
And I did self-defense with them, and I loved it. And the kids loved it. And then I took it further and I did with the PTA members.
Okay.
And the PTA, of course, we had, a lot of the women. So I taught them self-defense. Throughout the years with that, and then the help of another detective, Tanya Duhaney, she asked me to do some self-defense to senior citizens.
Wow.
At senior homes, and I used to go down to Jamaica, and we used to do those things as well. Loved it. It's the greatest feeling. Not only I like to deal with the little ones, but I also like to deal with the elders. And we were able to get those 70, 80, 90-year-olds up on their feet.
Mm-hmm.
And we did some, basic self-defense, and of course we did some punching and things like that too. And they loved it. And I enjoy those kinds of things as well. So it's not about just the little kids, but also all the age groups.
Because Taekwondo is for everyone.
Yeah.
And obviously law enforcement is there to protect everyone.
Yeah.
And help them. So it's amazing, sir, how you joined your two passions together.
It's great.
And even retired, you're still going strong.
I know.
I love that.
They ask me, when are you gonna, stop, and enjoy life? I enjoy it.
You are enjoying it. We never stop.
And it seems like I work more now than I when I was working.
That is funny. A lot of people I speak to that are retired all tell me the same thing. I work more now than I did when yeah, that's funny. So with the NYPD Taekwondo program, you spoke to us earlier about growing the program with the grants and everything. How do you need to promote it more?
I think so. We do, because you're talking about a department has over 30,000 cops.
Yes.
So there are, especially when new cop is difficult. I know that, because their hours are very staggered.
Mm-hmm.
So they work late at night and early in the morning. So it's very difficult, and certain days off. And of course, weekends is not what they're going to get off.
No.
So
not in the beginning.
So it is very difficult with that.
Mm-hmm.
But the other ones who have time on it, it would be nice to have some of them to understand a little bit more about Taekwondo. And I don't know if they understand exactly what it is and what we do, because, everything is about, when you're doing Taekwondo, people are thinking about, fighting, punching and kicking and,
Mm-hmm.
Dealing with all those kinds of things like that. But I don't think they understand it's not about us fighting. It's a way of life.
Yes.
And it's not like us going to beat up on somebody.
Mm-mm.
It's about us presenting us the way we are, so that we could stop before we get into a fight. But if we need to get into a fight, that we know how to handle ourselves. and that's the other part. And it's more, the other part is, I think, it's more of the health issue, mental health,
Sure.
and I think it's like it calms you down when you're doing all those pumses, your forms, all the kicks and punches and all those things. It calms you down, it relaxes you. Or other one people will say is that it releases the energy that you get rid of. And I don't think a lot of people know about those things like that way. I don't think they fully understand what Taekwondo really is.
So now, it's great what you just said, because it really brought me into my next question. Did Taekwondo make you a better cop?
Yes. Because it gave me the patience. It gave me that of the respect, humility. Okay. When I was starting as a cop, they didn't know that I knew Taekwondo.
Okay.
They didn't know that I could handle myself, or I'll be able to handle and help my partner out if there's a situation comes along. They didn't know that, because it's not something I'm going to tell them. But it helped me, because just the fact that we learn about respect. So my thing is that I'm respecting everybody. I don't care if you are young, old, same age, whether you're a criminal, you're not criminal, whatever it is, I'm going to treat you the same way, same respect. The way you want to be treated, I'm going to be treated the same way, back and forth. And I think that helped me a lot. And then also helping me with focusing and concentrating on my job. So I need to be aware of my surroundings. I need to know whether I'm going left or right or whatever I'm doing. So it helped me a lot in that respect as well. So could I have done a police work without doing Taekwondo? Yes, of course. But I think it helped me to enhance it a little bit more. So with that, yes, I'm very grateful with that. And then also, I was more, what would you call it? More confident.
Okay.
So if I'm walking down the street or whatever it is, that I was not going to be like, scared or whatever that, a cop might feel. I was more like, I could handle myself.
Your body language.
Right.
Everything.
And if my partner needs my help, I'll be able to help, my partner out. So that gave me that confidence.
Everything you're saying right now, I almost feel like not Taekwondo, but martial arts in general almost should be a prerequisite. To be a good cop.
Now, I know as a good cop, I believe, I don't know if it was Grandmaster YH Park or his brother was or I believe taught in the police academy. Because I remember seeing a certificate from the police academy that was given to Grandmaster Park.
Possible.
So I don't know if it was his brother or him that was given that certificate.
Very possible.
So I know at one time or another they did have Taekwondo as part of their curriculum.
In the academy.
In the academy.
Prior to becoming a cop.
Yes. Would I love to have it now? Yes, I do. And I think, with the help of YH Park, I think it could make some kind of a great curriculum to help the cops out. So
just through everything you just said, from a patience standpoint, from a humility standpoint, from obviously a confidence standpoint, it would only make you a better officer, a better servant.
I believe it would.
Yeah.
And I think it will enhance it a little bit. It's not going to make
you're living proof of it.
Right. I mean, I am. And I'm sure there's going to be other practitioners of Taekwondo that will agree the same way. And I'm sure if I would speak to them in the department, that they feel the same way.
Because any cop I've known, like I bring up, one of my first instructors, Master Andy Sava. This man is just, he is Mr. Confident. When he speaks, when he approaches people, everything he does.
Right.
Everything. So I could only imagine him as an officer. I'm sure it helped him out tremendously. Especially because, you grew up doing Taekwondo, and Taekwondo is Taekwondo. Let's just leave it there. It's not the version it is today. It was very different. So that tough upbringing, had to help you out tremendously,
Right.
especially during the hard times. Nothing's easy.
Well, I mean, a lot of times people take Taekwondo for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, like, back in the days, people were taking Taekwondo because they're being bullied or, something happening or it might be gang related or whatever it was that they want to be able to defend themselves. Great. Now, I think it's more of like health,
Sure.
mental health wise. And I think it's a great way to deal with mental health. And that's a big issue everywhere.
Right.
And it's not just in the NYPD. You're talking about it's everywhere.
Everywhere.
So would it help? I think it definitely will help.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that eventually there'll be more, and more practitioners involved with that. And let's take it.
Because we hear about that, the mental health of officers, and it's sad.
Yeah.
It's very sad. So if they had an outlet like a martial art, it could only help them
Yes.
to get mentally stronger.
Right.
You
I
know?
mean, the NYPD, they do have boxing team,
Yes.
MMA team,
I trained and I taught alongside
JJB team.
another retired officer, Master Rick Zubella. He was on the, if I'm correct, I want to say in the 80s, he was the middleweight champ for the NYPD.
Oh, nice.
Traveled all the way.
Wow.
I want to say, oh man. Sir, if you're listening, I hope I don't get this wrong. I want to say Great Britain he traveled. He was the middleweight boxing champ.
Wow.
Yeah, so I like I said, I've been surrounded by NYPD and martial arts my whole life.
Right.
But that's good that there's an outlet like that.
Right. And I think they should. I mean, there are a lot of sports units. And the thing is this way, is that all the cops and all the members that the NYPD, they do it on their own time.
Mm-hmm.
People make mistakes like, are they doing it during the department, or they're using the department money, or they're getting paid while they're doing this. They are not. They are doing it on their own time. So it's whenever they're free, they come out and they do it. That's why sometimes I only have 6 cops coming to the training.
Mm-hmm.
And I have like maybe about 20, 22, 25 members. But maybe I might have at one time 5, 6, or 10 because their schedules do not work with the time that I'm training.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, they come there when they can and when they're free. So, people need to realize that it's on own time. And that's a lot. Like I said, that takes away from the time from your family, from the things that you need to do, everyday life. And now you're coming to train. So when they're coming for the training, it's because they love it. So, that's the other part that comes along. But I'm hoping that, it grows and that people understand a little bit more about, what Taekwondo is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping that, and the other martial arts grow as well in the team wise.
Sure.
And it'd be great for them. And, it'd be nice for us to share information with each other and train with each other as well. So
There
that's
you
the other
go.
thing I would love to do.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I love that because it falls in line with what we do here at a Black Belt Way of Life. I've had the pleasure of having, karate senseis here,
Right.
Muay Thai masters here. I had a professional MMA world champion here, alongside a lot of Taekwondo practitioners and instructors. The martial arts, at the end of the day, I believe it's all good for you.
Yes.
As long as it's taught correctly.
Correct.
It's all good for you. So to bring that all into the fold under one program would be an amazing thing for the NYPD.
I think so too.
Yeah,
it'd be great.
That'd be great, not only for the officers, but also from an education standpoint. How you said it, you're teaching these children for free.
Yeah.
Teaching them all the principles and the beauty and all the positivity that comes along with Taekwondo. It's great. It makes me smile because it makes everything a greater. It makes it a greater place, and it makes society grow stronger, and makes a cop's job easier.
It does. It
In
does.
a good way.
Yes.
In a good way. Not in a lazy way, but in a good way. Makes a cop's job so much easier. That's great. That's great, sir. No, it's been great chatting with you about all this. Now you came here with something.
Yes.
What we got here?
I was always taught never go place empty-handed.
Taught well. Taught well.
So I bought a couple of things.
Oh,
All right. So I'm to leave it on the table.
there we go.
Okay. I don't know if you want to open
Look at
it.
that! Look at that symbol. Oh, let's see what we got. This is a first. This is a first. I'm getting a gift on a Black Belt Way of Life. This is great.
So
Ooh.
one of them is the official
Look at that.
NYPD Taekwondo shirts
Look at that.
that we use.
Look at that. Oh, I like that.
So
Oh, I like that. You know what I see in this, sir? I see some sweat. I like that. That's how we're gonna respect this shirt. We're gonna put some good sweat on it. Hold on. Let's fold this
so there's two of them
nicely.
there. I have two.
Nice. Oh, I love it. I love it. It could fold pretty good. See why?
There you go.
Look
See
at
that?
Look at that. Look at
Not
that.
too bad.
Not too bad, right? And what else we got here? Ooh.
So there's another shirt there, and then you see there's the challenge coins and the stickers.
Oh, challenge coins.
So usually the
I love this.
You know those things with the challenge coins.
Yes. We
So-
I have a few that I've been gifted, and actually the USA Masters team we have one as well.
All right.
That the Pioneer members we received.
All right.
Oh wow, this is great.
So we usually go different places and we try to exchange things like that.
Mhm.
And then one of our members made these stickers
Wow.
to put into those things like that way. So
And you put a very, very special term at the top, indomitable spirit.
yes, I thought those words that I put in there, I thought that fits.
It does. No, this is.
So
Oh, I can't thank you enough, sir.
no, thank you.
It's
I
been
really
a
appreciate.
it's been a pleasure, and please tell the audience where, for everyone listening, if they want to come learn Taekwondo with the NYPD, part of the NYPD Taekwondo team, how can they reach out to you? How can they find you?
Well, I do have the email, and we do have the Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the Instagram is NYPD TKD team.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of our Instagram. And I do have the with the NYPD TKD team at Gmail, I believe is
Okay.
that I do have the email that I have and I'll get
Wow.
if that's the case.
All right.
So those are the ways to get in contact with me or through the IG. I have a team manager. She's a school safety agent, and she does all the agent guild. She does all the how you call it communications
Okay.
and anything that needs to be done, flyers and all those things. She's the one who gets everything done. So if anything else, she'll get the email as well,
Beautiful.
and she deals with the Instagrams, and then she
Okay.
usually lets me know what messages that we get.
Great. I'll make sure to put all this information in the show notes. And from a personal standpoint, sir, I can't wait to collaborate with you for future projects. However I could help, however this podcast could help. Everything you spoke about, all your information is going to be in the show notes, and I can't wait. I can't wait because this is just great for the future of our society and the future, of our youth, because that's what we're here for.
Yes,
We're here to build it.
I'm hoping to eventually, practice with you
Yes.
and your school, and hopefully, you and guys from your school come and practice with us, and then we'd like to, collaborate as well with that part, and and move forward with that.
Thank you, sir. It's been an honor.
It is an honor.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
With that being said, everyone, thank you for tuning in to another episode of A Black Belt Way of Life. Again, all our information is in the show notes. Everything that Master James Thorsten spoke about will be in the show notes. NYPD Taekwondo team. Thank you to our sponsor, Mr. Joseph Ferrone of Wycott Realty. To Best Martial Arts, Muto USA. All your martial arts needs, Check them out. The Kick Fit Taekwondo shoes, BBWOL at checkout for a nice little discount on an amazing pair of shoes. With that being said, thank you everyone again for tuning in. The words my father always said, a black belt is worn around your heart, never your waist. A Black Belt Way of Life was produced by Press Record Studios.